right, I'm ready. Are we live? Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia regular meeting. I call this meeting to order on October 18th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. I'll take the roll call of the trustees. Trustee Linden. Trustee Britz. Trustee Bashaw. Trustee Johnston.
Here.
Thank you. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have approval of the minutes, please?
I really didn't have a hard copy. I looked on my emails and didn't find it there, and I also didn't see it on the village website, so I couldn't review those ones. In the meeting, special meeting, October 13th, I think it should have been noted that there were, for local laws number 3 and 4, there were only objections to said from the public for those local laws, and no one in approval that attended the meeting. I also, on section G of the resolutions, it states that the motion was made by myself for that motion, and it was not. I wasn't able to vote for that. I voted nay, but so I did not make a motion to sponsor that. I noted that to you, matter of fact, prior to the meeting. So that needs to be changed.
Would you like them to, you're making a motion to table these, then you can, okay, you want to read, okay.
Well, I also wanted to note that on local law number 3, my objection wasn't stated when I made a statement of why I voted nay. Everything else seems to be in there, though. So if I'd like to make a motion that these be tabled until that those changes can be made, and also that I have an opportunity to review October 4th when it's available.
Okay, there's a motion to table. Is there a second to that table?
This has been in our box for a number of days, and, you know, I understand that we're all busy, but we do have a responsibility to see them prior to this evening. Tabling them is not a big deal, but we have had them, and we've had the 4th, for 2 weeks, so you didn't get yours?
Apparently did not.
And you just missed them tonight?
And I'm sorry?
You just missed that today, that you didn't have them?
Yes, just today. I went to review it late this afternoon, and they were normally quick reading, and I just, so it was not available. I searched for it, didn't find it. Didn't find it anywhere, so. It's not a big deal to bring them back on the next meeting. Just add them to the next meeting.
It's fine.
Well, I would say,
I cannot put it on the website till they're approved.
Okay.
Right.
Like I said, I was looking for it, but not only, I couldn't find a hard copy, and I didn't find it in my email, but I understand why you're saying that for the,
I'll get you a copy, no problem.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Can we table it?
I wanted to make one point there. We'll have to then approve the changes you want made, and I agree with the change that the resolution that you decided not to sponsor should reflect that. The other ones, the other changes are not necessary for minutes because they are simply a record of actions taken or not taken. So I don't find the other changes necessary.
And I would agree with that.
Okay, any other discussion on that? No discussion, so there's been a motion to table. Is there a second to that motion to table?
Second.
It's been a second. Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Britz?
No.
Trustee Bashaw?
Yes.
Trustee Johnston?
No.
Okay. So tied 2-2. I will break that tie by voting yes to table that and to make that change. So the motion to table stands 3-2. Okay, we'll open the public portion, please.
This portion of the meeting is for public comment. Any member of the public wishing to speak, once recognized, shall stand at the microphone and state their name and address. Speakers will be allowed 3 minutes if speaking for themselves, or 5 minutes if speaking on behalf of a group. I will ask the speakers to refrain from remarks that are in poor taste, slanderous, or not germane to any action taken or contemplated by the board.
Board, please stand up to the microphone.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
I'm Suzanne Militello from 64 Central Avenue. The neighbors of 60 Central Avenue in Fredonia would like to speak with you tonight regarding a music festival complaint. We want to bring to your attention a concert that was held in the backyard of 60 Central Avenue on Saturday, October 2nd. This was advertised as a music festival and hosted by the residents of the house. And I have a flyer here, if I can.
Sure.
So a huge big tent was set up in the backyard along with a stage, a sound system, and light show, equipment that is specifically used for concerts. While originally told that there would be about 100 in attendance, there were upwards of 200 people, and according to the flyer they passed around social media, there was a coverage charge for attending the event. This was a large-scale event. It was something that should have been hosted in a public venue based on the number of attendees. The decibel level was such that it basically forced the neighbors to either leave their home for several hours or suffer with a volume that was truly unbearable and prevented even the most basic activity of daily living from taking place without complete stress. Things like talking, eating, and watching TV, it was unacceptable. The event started at 3, with music starting at about 4 or 4:30. There were 6 separate live bands, close to 200 cheering fans, and all out celebrating. It was virtually impossible to stay in our homes due to the decibel level of the music, along with the cheering of the crowd. You could not even converse with another person in your home, hear the TV, or have a visiting grandchild stay over because of the unbelievable loud sound emitting from the music festival. The windows in our homes were literally rattling, and this went on from about 4:30 until 9 p.m. when the live concert was shut down. The police came twice within this time frame, but initially had no effect until 9 when they finally shut it down. While we understand the noise ordinance starts later in the night, this event was more than just some loud music. This was a full-fledged concert lasting over 4 straight hours. While living on Central Avenue, most of us have had experience coexisting with the students and are proud that we have gotten along well with our neighbors over the years. This, however, was a large-scale event concert with a sound system that is made for a different type of venue. We literally were prisoners in our homes, and with COVID, there aren't too many places we can go to get away, and we do not feel that being forced to leave or hold up inside our homes is a fair alternative. So we want to prevent these types of large-scale performance events from happening in the backyards of our neighbors. They prevent any quality of life living in the village. So we are suggesting that such concerts be held in a more public venue, such as the Village Commons or the college campus, or even a park such as Russell Joy. So is there a code or ordinance that would prevent such large-scale concerts and music festivals from happening in the middle of a residential community? Wouldn't a permit be needed for an event this large that is charging admissions? So to keep Fredonia integrated with families along with students, we are asking the trustees to recognize the need for rules and regulations to be in place and documented to help prevent disruptive large-scale events right in one's backyard. So we hope you can help us so that we do not have to go through this unacceptable situation again. Thank you for your time.
That. Am I deaf? Did I miss it? How could I?
Yeah, something of that scale.
Yeah.
I live on Hart Street. You'd think I'd hear it
Yeah.
down there. I didn't.
Didn't even hear it.
I was
Wow.
contacted by one of the neighbors, one of the residents who's here this evening. I was out of town, but I asked if, like, the statement was just said, if the police were called, and they were. I did not know if any regulations or permits or anything needs to be done, or we have anything in place at the moment.
Is Chuck on it? Is Chuck
Uh,
available?
No, it's.
Nobody's on right now.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is have our code enforcement officer, Chief Officer Chuck LaBarbera, contact you and explain what we have on the books. And maybe this is something that the board could enact in the future as a future, code that would restrict or confine,
I
like
think
was
that's already-
stated.
I think it's already covered, Doug.
I think it is too.
Okay,
I
well, I'm
think
not
there
sure,
is-
but
I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
instead of trying to, say that we may have to do something, I think we should look into what's here. But I'm pretty sure that there is certainly, as the officers did try to deal with it for the noise ordinance
Twice, yeah.
twice, multiple times.
doesn't start till later at night, this is during the day.
Yep.
So,
And
This wasn't run-of-the-mill college kids having their music turned
no,
up.
it'd be,
and
This was a full-scale loud concert in your backyard.
if they were charging fee, I think
Yeah.
there's vendor issues and
I mean,
all this,
Well-
and
someone were to get
permits and
banned
things,
with a- for a wedding or set up a, stage for a wedding in the backyard.
that's
You
the,
know, that's
This
one
is not the
thing,
same.
but,
Yeah.
you know, when you start charging admission,
Yeah.
then we need to consider taking a look at something.
I mean, for all of us that have lived on Central with college kids for 35 years,
Yeah.
we've negotiated things with them, and, we've accepted some of the, the amount of music and the amount of partying that they've had. In 35 years, this has gone beyond anything that we've experienced.
yeah,
It
this
really
makes
has.
Fred Fest look like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, there are 200 kids walking in and out, it was unbelievable. And-
Cars, at least 40 to 50 cars on the streets. They have a table where people are getting charged admission going back. It was a 4-post party tent, so it was a large tent, just, so to
Sure.
speak. Then they had a separate tent which was for the stage, separate amplifiers, separate speakers. It was pretty elaborate, yeah.
so.
Pretty organized.
So,
I also think it's not the first time it's happened, because another event very similarly happened at like the first week of school, first week of college, opening in the East Main Street area.
Well, this young boy, this is a series of events, he told me that.
Yes, yeah,
It's a
I have a
series
feeling
of-
that-
He called it a music festival, and they're planning on other ones, that's why we're here. One we could deal with, it's over. No, it's a series, so we don't want the series.
Yeah, we spoke to him, he came over to the house.
Very nice kid.
He's very nice, very, very apologetic for
He
for
realized
disruption.
a lot of it is.
He thought that a lot of the neighbors were not gonna be in town, so they weren't gonna be. So the suggestion at the time in discussing this was, as Suzanne had said, another venue would be more appropriate. And of course, the college, they're all college students, why not approach the college board and find out if they can have it? But the end result was probably because they could have their alcohol
Yeah.
in their
We're
backyard.
not going there, that's not
So,
our complaint,
Okay.
Yeah.
so if it's acceptable, then I will have our
Thank you.
code enforcement officer contact you, and we will review what we have, and if the landlord or the tenants were in violation of anything, we will deal with that. So,
Well, if
Should-
there's nothing on the board, on your, books, maybe we can put something on the book. Because I tell you, there's a house next to us that's vacant right now. If you want to not have students in all those houses, if you want people to live in Fredonia with families, you can't keep having parties and parties.
If you want Central Avenue to be the grand avenue that it was at one time, but now it's becoming just student haven. College Row, basically, I mean, it's, unfortunately, Jack Van Scoter's house is gonna be up for sale
Yeah, it's
soon too.
like, can a family really live there?
So, yeah, he's been
Okay.
our neighbor.
It really
Miss-
makes me
Miss
think, do I
Militello?
wanna put money into my house? Am I
Yeah.
wasting money,
Yeah.
not adding value to my house?
Can you give me references to where your house is? It's
Right
from
across
Curtis.
Curtis.
It's right across from the Sly home. Was it?
That's the home, that's the party.
Okay.
We're across from the
Yep.
bed and breakfast.
Yeah, we're in the.
Okay,
we're-
down a little
she's
bit.
the first
Okay.
one, we're the second.
Yeah.
The next that's what is vacant, so they didn't complain.
Got it.
You know, but yeah, and then the other side also, we spoke to them today too, 50 Central, going the other way too. Everybody was displaced or just miserable, totally miserable in their home, you know.
Can
I
we
get-
reach out to the college?
I called the
It's a
college that
licensing
night
issue.
too.
It's
It's off campus, they
they're
can't do
conducting
anything.
business on residential property.
Okay.
Really?
Before you leave, can you give me some contact information? I can have our code enforcement and we'll look into that. Is there anybody else that would like to address the board? Anybody else that would like to address the board? Okay. If there's no one else to address the board, I will close this public portion of this meeting. Thank you. Correspondence, please.
Correspondence dated October 6, 2021 was received from Chief Inspection Officer Chuck LaBarbera requesting Michael V. Gleason be appointed Electrical Inspector.
Be it resolved that Michael Gleason is hereby appointed electrical inspector effective immediately and will serve at the pleasure of the mayor and Village of Fredonia Board of Trustees. And be it further resolved that this individual may be removed with or without cause and will be required to follow all ordinances and regulations for electrical installations and shall comply with Chapter 129 electrical standards of the Village of Fredonia.
Second that resolution?
There's been a motion and a second. Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Britz?
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw?
Yes.
Trustee Johnston?
Yes.
Carried. Move on to reports. We'll start with my report. I just have a couple of items of interest to report tonight. At the recent annual banquet held on October 7th for the Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce, Festivals Fredonia was honored for the continued work in Fredonia. Congratulations to that group and all their award recipients at that event. It was a very nice evening. The group held the annual Harvest Moon ceremony tours this weekend, and although I was unable to attend the event, I understand it went well. Last week, I attended a Dunkirk Fredonia Rotary banquet honoring James Rawcliffe, a dedicated Rotarian, Toastmaster, and community advocate. This event was held in his honor to raise money for several northern Chautauqua County agencies who serve the needs of many in our community. His son Rupert, who was in town and spoke at the event, as did I, and other community leaders. Saturday night, I was among many firemen and family who gathered to honor Larry Barter as the outgoing president of the Southwestern Association of Volunteer Firemen. His service to our community extended beyond the Fredonia borders, and we honored him for all he has done for the fire service that night. Last night, I attended the first in-person performance of the Fredonia School of Music at SUNY Fredonia since February 2020. It was a great concert, and it was fantastic to see the students perform in person at college again here in Fredonia. That ends my report. Move on to Trustee Linden.
Just one thing, it's actually before the treasurer's report, but because she's after us, I'm going to actually just address that quickly. I'm going to ask that the board may take a look at what to do about the legal fees up to this point. It seems to be that I know we discussed where we would be after a certain point in the year. If it becomes too expensive, we may have to address having who we have. And currently, we're already at over 65% of the contractual budget, and we're 129% over of the negotiator portion of the law budget. And at the rate of just the contractual, that puts us if this continues, we'll be over budget by January. And then we wouldn't have the funding for that service from that point on for the year without making more transfers. I understand that the treasurer is recommending that we do a transfer currently in order to cover the costs of where we're above the negotiating fees, but that, I do understand that we have contracts that are taking a while to negotiate. That might be somehow reasonable to believe, but we're getting exceedingly high in that area. So that's all I wanted to address. Thank you.
Taken any action on the subcommittee that I assigned you to for the Village Licensing Policy Committee?
Well, I did. I mean, I reviewed a number of other communities, and all the ones I found actually associated fees with that. And for the license, an additional licensing for businesses. And I spoke with Chuck LaBarbera about it for a pretty good length. He thought it might not be a bad idea, but then again, as we discussed it further, without any kind of penalties or charges or anything like that to go along with it really has no teeth. And also we have pretty much all of everything that is needed is already on the books. There is no other need for any other permits for safety or anything else. Any other licensings beyond what we have or permits would already be addressed by the county or state. And wouldn't be in the part of what the village would be addressing. I also spoke with a number of business owners. A number of them contacted me. Not a single one was in favor of such a thing. They felt it was just going to drive out business. And they also felt that we have to be really careful in the possibility that this may be looked at as trying to target certain businesses. When issues happen in other types of businesses throughout the year, even as unfortunately, even on campus, you don't want to eradicate the campus. I know that you mentioned that we wanted to try to eradicate certain businesses. It's not necessarily their fault, the people that come to them. It's more of a police issue and how to address that, they felt, than it was the business codes or licensings that they seem to be in compliance. So I feel that we shouldn't move any further with that at this point.
Okay. All right, thank you. Trustee Britz?
Under the fire department, I want to draw some attention to the new backlit lighting that has been installed by Vicani Signs. It's the Fredonia Fire Department logo. If you get an opportunity to drive by and take a look at it, it looks amazing. They did a great job. I want to thank Billy Rickard, who did the plating, and I also want to thank Vicani Signs for getting it done and installed. Interviews are complete with the fire chief's position. We hope to have a new hire here in the next few days, if all goes well. The water filtration plant, I'd like to report the construction has been completed. Right now, the clarifiers are both up, running smoothly, and the plant is now running at 99.99% capacity, so we're back running at full steam again. The final payment are still being negotiated with the attorneys regarding our stainless steel ring, so hopefully we can get some negotiation done before the final payment's cut. We will also be canvassing the list for a operator trainees position at the water filtration plant soon. I'd also like to report that the DPW has been overseeing the park project, and it looks like we're right on target for completion by the end of the month. And my son and I had an opportunity to go up Saturday to help start pouring the aluminum cast for the new cherub, and it looks like he'll be ready to be mounted by the end of the month. That's my last report.
Thank you.
Would it be possible for me to just ask one question about the water treatment plant to Roger?
Absolutely.
There was an issue with a
Valve.
A valve.
Yes.
Is that been
Yes, that has been
rectified?
corrected. It just had a faulty, there's like a spindle in it that's kind of faulty. But they did get there are two electrical pumps that are supposed to be operating and running. They are now running, we're just waiting for some programming, and everything seems to be right on
The
track.
spindle thing is fixed?
Yep, everyth's fixed.
And you mentioned up and running at a certain percentage. When what's the engineering company?
Yes.
When they were
Rambo.
here, Rambo, when they were here, they stated that this system will be able to function at 40% greater efficiency than our previous systems. Were they able to test to that level? Do you know?
No, it's been running now for a few weeks, so,
And so
Yeah.
I'd like to know that we could possibly reach that level that they claimed it would function
Right,
at,
like-
in order to, in case we needed to help someone, another community,
Right.
that we could do that
Right.
without worry.
with the upgrade of the electrical pumps and the clarifiers and stuff, it is efficient when it comes to electrical and electricity and cost savings. The new updated system is much larger than the older system, so that the capacity to handle more volume at the time. The other thing I'd like to report, with the heavy rain that we just recently had, really helped with the pond on the lake, on the top of the hill. We've increased, our turbidity has decreased. The cooler temperatures are allowing us to process our water quickly and more efficiently, and if anyone gets an opportunity to go up there, they've done a great job. The staff has done a great job of cleaning up, mopping up, getting things put away, and just a pleasure to get back up there and see our plant running the way it should be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Britz. Trustee Bashaw.
I'd like to just quickly make a clarification of this morning's paper that indicated I was annoyed with the change order from Lakeshore Paving. Just a point of clarification, I am not annoyed by the change order from Lakeshore. I am annoyed, however, that our contingency policy and procedures seem to fall through the cracks, so to speak. And I mentioned this before, in that it appears to me as though when these projects are bid, the bids are lower with the anticipation that the contingency is just an add-on. And that was evidenced by the fact that when our former DPW department head spent $49,000 of a contingency budget with our water project, that company insisted that that be put back even prior to our need, because they considered it to be their money, the contingency money. And I think we were all aware of that. We were all talked about that. And I don't want to point out that any company specifically. I think it's become a standard procedure that contingency is just considered an add-on to the original bid. And I think it hasn't happened with all. We've had a company that was very honest with us in as far as the Opera House goes. I think we need to be more diligent in how the contracts are worded in regard to the use and availability of contingency funding. This is not just their add-on. We need to monitor it more closely. That's what my annoyance was. So I just want to clarify that. The last thing I need to clarify is that you saw the trunk or treat. That's not the last thing, but trunk or treat invitation from a recreation department that's happening on October 30th at Russell Joy, and that should be a fun activity for everybody to participate in. And I just want to make a comment in regard to the money spent for the attorney and the budgeted amount. Never in the history of the village have we negotiated 4 employee contracts at the same year. They're staggered. They've always been staggered. And because of COVID and because of change in leadership, it ended up that all 4 of our contracts and agreements are being negotiated in the same year. This has caused us to see some increase, a significant increase, in our attorney's expenditures. I also want to point out that we've had other contracts that we have negotiated quickly and efficiently. The water sewer contract with the town of Pomfret, the water sewer contract with the college, the fire contract with the town of Pomfret. All of those were vetted by our attorneys, which cost us money. We went through them quickly, but again, very unique for us to have those all done in the same year at the same time, within a 6-month period, actually. We had some significant employee issues that expended 25% of our attorney's fees that have been expended to this point, that had to do with employee issues that have been addressed to a degree, but is ongoing. So I do find that although we look at these significant costs. I think we need to look deeper into what the actual expenditures are and to, I think they've done a great job. Yes, it's cost us some money, and I think we will, in the long run, benefit from that expenditure. Thank you.
Trustee Johnston.
I have nothing tonight.
Okay, thank you. Ann, do you have anything to report this evening? Thank you. Erlissa?
Just want to go over the September treasurer's report. At this point, we're looking pretty good for our general fund. Our fund is about 10.8% higher with our revenues than last year. Our expenses are down 6.4%, which is $151,462. Our net income is $527,335 above last year's. Our sales tax distributions have been about 24% higher and continue to show that based on the last report that I got from the county. Our water fund revenue is down about 6.8%, but our expenses are also down, but only slightly, about 0.8% from last year. Our sewer fund has about a 12% revenue decrease, and the expenses for that fund are also down 8.7%. So we just have to keep an eye on our expenses, especially in those two funds, just to make sure that we're not spending more than we're bringing in.
A quick question, Alyssa.
Sure.
The water fund revenues, you say, are down 6.8%. Do we have a lot, or do we have any delinquent accounts that might be holding us back on that amount of money?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to tell me any more than that, but if, yeah, okay.
Yes, we
I
do.
won't say anymore. All right, thank you.
Which, by the way, we'll need to pursue with our attorney, which will cost us money too, so. And that's why those bills go up, because we have to pursue that.
Those were the issues with the water meters and things earlier on in the year that we had?
Not even so much that. We have some individual or business accounts that are
Okay.
quite steep.
Huh, okay.
One other thing, sorry, Mayor, part of my other report, and I forgot to add it tonight, was we have been replacing water meters in the village. There are 80 of them that need to be replaced.
Yep.
We're about a quarter way through that right now, so that has helped, balance some of our budgets and things on that line. So, Ron, our water meter reader guy, is doing a great job of getting out there and scheduling with the customers to replace the 80 meters that we have too, so.
And possibly once we get the contract with SUNY Fredonia ironed out, that will be bringing in additional revenues, correct?
No,
Well, they've been
paying.
caught up.
Oh, they're
They're
caught
all
up?
paid
Okay.
up, yes, so they
Okay.
have nothing outstanding at this
Okay.
point,
Oh,
except
I'm
for the contract that we have.
The current
Okay.
contract.
That's good to know, thank you.
You stated a revenue decrease for the town, 48.5% decrease. Yeah, that seems to be, does that have to do with that contract?
Yes, that's the reduction in
That seems
their
to be
cost.
a very big sticking point there.
Okay, thank you, Erlissa.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Additional reports, please.
The code enforcement report for the month of September 2021, building. Permits issued 25, inspections 73, certificates of occupancy 51, certificates of compliance 22, violations found 15, violations satisfied 2, fees collected, permit fees $1,560, rental fees $4,065, certificate of compliance fees $1,175, and zoning hearings $100, for a total of $6,900. Rental inspection 67, renewals 58, property maintenance, junk cars found 6, junk cars removed 2, property maintenance found 6, removed 3. Miscellaneous annual fire inspections 30, demolitions 1, and stop work orders 1. Stop work orders are issued because of improper construction practices or failure to get building permit. 25 permits generated $1,560 in revenue. The estimated cost for the work of the month of September was $92,845. Fredonia Police Department report for the month of September 2021. Incidents reported 875. Fredonia Central School calls for service 11. Accidents 13. Arrests reported 37. Vehicle and traffic ticket stops 9. Domestic incident 16. Parking tickets 55. The Village of Fredonia Justice Court report for the month of September 2021. Total number of cases closed. Vehicle and traffic 57. Criminal 21. Village ordinances 13. ABC laws 1. Total fines and surcharges $4,962. Parking ticket fines $1,476 for a total of $6,438. That's it for reports.
Is it fully functioning?
I would believe it is.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Resolutions, please.
Here is a report of unpaid village taxes for fiscal year June 1st, 2021 through May 31st, 2022, has been prepared by the receiver of the taxes of the Village of Fredonia, Alyssa LeBrew, and whereas the Board of Trustees has examined the list of unpaid taxes with penalty totaling $175,370.37 and found the same to be correct. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees is hereby authorized to sign a collector's report of unpaid village taxes, which is to be submitted to the Chautauqua County Director of Finance in Mayville, New York.
Aye.
Trustee Brits.
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw.
Yes.
Trustee Johnston.
Yes.
Carried.
Be it resolved that the regular and overtime payrolls of the various village departments and bills approved by the Finance Committee and set forth in abstract number 589 through number 596 are hereby approved and directed paid.
Second that resolution.
Motion is second. Trustee Linden. Aye. Trustee Brits.
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw.
Yes.
Trustee Johnston.
Yes.
Carried.
Be it resolved that pursuant to Section 5-520 of the village law, the following budget transfers are hereby approved for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. $900 from A1210.43 Mayor Travel to A1210.41 Mayor Supplies, and $300 from A1110.0 Justice Personnel to A1110.11 Justice Overtime.
I will second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Brits.
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw.
Yes.
Trustee Johnston.
Yes.
Carried.
Be it resolved that previously provisionally appointed Lieutenant Ben Syracuse has passed the necessary civil service exam and requirements and is hereby appointed permanently to the position of Fire Lieutenant for the Village of Fredonia Fire Department effective October 18th, 2021, at his current rate of $33.85 per hour, and will serve a probationary term of 8 weeks in compliance with all applicable civil service rules and regulations.
Second that resolution.
Been a motion and a second. Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Brits.
I'd like to say congratulations to Ben, and yes.
Trustee Bashaw.
I too would like to congratulate Ben and vote yes.
Trustee Johnston.
Yes.
Carried.
Whereas the village requires continued assistance with documents and logistics concerning state funding for water projects within the village, and whereas Municipal Solutions, Inc., 62 Main Street, Leroy, New York, has offered to provide said assistance for a total fee not to exceed $24,500, $18,000 for the original contract and $6,500 for the amendment number one. And whereas Municipal Solutions is offering to provide a professional service which is not subject to public bidding pursuant to paragraph 3 of the village's procurement policy, now therefore be it resolved, the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to enter into a current agreement with Municipal Solutions, Inc.
Second.
Motion and a second. Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Brits.
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw.
Yes.
Trustee Johnston.
Yes.
Carried.
Whereas the village requires continued assistance with documents and logistics concerning state funding for wastewater projects within the village, and whereas Municipal Solutions, Inc. of 62 Main Street, Leroy, New York, has offered to provide said assistance for a total fee not to exceed $40,000, and whereas Municipal Solutions, Inc. is offering to provide a professional service which is not subject to public bidding pursuant to paragraph 3 of the village's procurement policy, now therefore be it resolved, the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to enter into a current agreement with Municipal Solutions, Inc.
second that.
It's been a motion and a second. Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Brits?
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw?
Yes.
Trustee Johnston?
Yes.
Carried.
Whereas the village requires continued assistance
Assistance with documents and logistics concerning the state funding for municipal projects within the village. And whereas Municipal Solutions, Inc. of 62 Main Street, Leroy, New York, has offered to provide said assistance for the total fee not to exceed $3,000. And whereas Municipal Solutions, Inc. is offering to provide said professional services, which is not subject to the public bidding pursuant to paragraph 3 of the village's procurement policy. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to enter into a current agreement with Municipal Solutions, Inc.
A motion and a second. Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Brits?
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw?
Yes.
Trustee Johnston?
Yes.
Carried.
Reading this, I'm kidding. Yes, it is. It's just coincidence. I'm happy to read it. Whereas the village previously retained Lakeshore Paving, Jamestown, New York, for placemaking project, and whereas change order number 004 has been requested due to the installation of a truing and leveling course to match existing roadway with new concrete curbs, and whereas Lakeshore Paving has required an additional $21,900 to perform this service. Therefore, now be it resolved, the mayor is hereby authorized and directed to approve change order 004 in the amount of $21,900.
Been a motion.
It scared me.
That was the same reason as you stated. As you know, I have an issue with change orders for using contingency too, but we agree that this, so yes, aye.
Okay, Trustee Brits? Trustee Bashaw?
Yes.
Trustee Johnston?
Yes.
Carried. Do we need to go into executive session?
Personnel, briefly.
Okay, before we make a motion to that, the next Village of Fredonia Board meeting will take place Monday, November 1st, 2021 at 7:30 PM in the trustee room, second floor of Village Hall. The motion to go into executive session, please.
I so move
To,
to discuss personnel.
okay.
Yes, there you go.
Motion is second. Trustee Linden?
Aye.
Trustee Brits?
Yes.
Trustee Bashaw?
Yes.
Trustee Johnston?
Can I suggest we go downstairs so that we can just do this quickly? I know you're all in a hurry to get to the game. So if we get to go downstairs, it could just be really quick.
Yep.
Okay.